the how the derivative market works. Okay, so all what you'll be going through in this section is how you have to first of all this market really works, and secondly how you are going to set up your derivative account. So before, you have to know that forex trading, as the name implies, it simply means forex exchange. Okay, yeah. So it's a two word joined together. That's what we call the forex market. Okay, so it's what we call the forex exchange. And inside the forex exchange market, you have several types of markets. So you know that in the financial market, you have what we call forex trading. We have what we call stock market. We have what we call um, the the crypto market, and also we have the synthetic market. We have the commodity market. We have the what we call the futures. Yes. So, and the stock market as well. So these are the major market inside this financial market, and we are diving in deep into the forex trading, and also why you need to use the synthetic market as a derivative broker. Okay. So to first of all, to start with it, when we talk about forex trading, is like you buying and selling one commodity, and the other will be what will be in the counter side. As if you are buying one, you are selling the other. Okay, so that's what happened in the forex market, and it's an exchange of what services, whereby one is buying and the other also is selling. Okay, yeah, and when we talk about the forex market, we have some advantages. Okay, when you come into the forex market, and some of the advantages that I can go through is an industry whereby you don't need that much huge capital to start. Yes, in the forex market, at least with minimum of, sometimes some brokers even accept $5 accounts, some even accept $10, some also accept 25 upwards. Okay, so it's a business that you don't need much capital to start. Okay, all what you need is to have the knowledge and the skills and how to apply the knowledge. Yes, and secondly, it is an industry whereby it's a business whereby you can trade at your comfort zone. Okay, yeah, so that's one of the advantages in trading forex market. That's where you can still trade the market when you're in your country, or maybe when you travel. Okay, even let's say when there is any during the time that COVID came, those are they are forex traders. All what they need is their devices and their what the internet access, and that's all what you need. Okay, yeah, so there's a whole lot of comfort that comes when you're actually in this industry. Okay, yeah, and aside the first one, which is we trade when you make money, yeah, and also you can withdraw your money at any time that you want. Okay, yeah, so this is an industry that you can withdraw your money. You can withdraw it just now, and within some few minutes your money just drop into your account. Some brokers even less than 5 minutes. Some brokers, let's say, from 30 minutes to an hour, you receive your money. Some also use 12 hours, some use 24 hours. So it depends on the broker that you are using. Okay, yes, and on the other side too, you also, when you are learning the forex market, the another advantage of it is that it's an industry whereby you are your own boss. Okay, yeah. So with this industry, when you come in, you are not taking orders from you're not taking orders from anyone. Yes, you are the one managing everything. Yes, so you are in charge of the buying and the selling. You are in charge of making all the analysis on the chart. You have a sole advantage on also how to withdraw and also deposit. Okay, yeah. So that's one of the advantages also. And when it comes to disadvantage in this market, is sometimes there is a level of uncertainty. Okay, whereby the market sometimes tends to become complicated, whereby you can't even figure out what to do. Either you have to buy or you sell. Okay, yes, and it also is an industry whereby there is a level of high risks. Okay, yeah, there's a level of high risks. high level of risk is involved in trading with in the forex market, you need to have the right mindset. Okay, you know why I'm stressing on this? Because when you don't have the right mindset, making money in this industry becomes so tough and so difficult for you. Okay, so you need the right mindset in order to accept or in order for you to know your risk appetite. Okay, which is very, very, very important. Okay, yes. So another forex market, we have what we call the majors and the minors. Okay, so the majors are the most traded pairs, and these are the pairs that we trade most of in the forex market, whereby we use if I'll use this term, the developed countries. Okay, the currencies that these developed countries uses. Let's say the United States is the dollar, the GBP, the Great Britain pound. We have the Japanese yen, we have the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc. Okay, yeah. So these are the major developed countries. So we treat most of this and we call them the major pairs. Okay, and thereafter we come to the minor pairs, and inside the minor pairs are basically what we call the. You can even use the naira, the CD, for being as a minor. Okay, in the market. So we have other trading instruments also a whole lot. Let's say the South African ZAR, yes, and you also have, let's say you have the odd GPY, you have the odd NZD, yes, and some of the odd New Zealand and the Australian dollar pairs also. Okay, yeah. So one of the things also that you have to consider, okay, when you are trading in the forex market is the broker that you're using is very, very important. Okay, the broker is very, very, very important. You have to know, okay, the broker that you're using very well. And we have some platforms whereby you can review, okay, more about your broker, which some when you go to peacearmy.com or Forex Factory, these are platforms whereby you have more reviews, okay, about what is going on about your broker. And some of the brokers, these are the things that you have to look for. Okay, so you have to look for the credibility about the broker. Okay, whereby you have to search for where they are, what they are located is very, very key. Okay, so assuming you are in Ghana here and you are using a broker that is in Asia, you have to know that you are going to face some complications. Okay, using a broker that is in the Asian side, because time zone is a very factor. And you know how the our brothers in the Asian continent, how they lead us in several hours. Okay, so if you are hosting a broker from such a domain, okay, that means analyzing the chart will be a little bit. You will have to always check. Okay, you always have to check the server that you are running on. Yes, and this can really, really disturb your trading. Okay, as for, and also you need to also consider brokers that provide good leverage. Okay, leverage is one of the key concepts in this market, especially at in the beginner stage. You really need to know what leverage is, and leverage is very, very important. Leverage helps us to trade or to be part of the big banks. Leverage helps us to also join what the big boys are doing in the market, whereby the brokers give us a leverage that seems as we are having a huge capital trading with them. Okay, so you need a broker that provides good leverage. Okay, very, very key. And most of the leverages that you see is the 1:, something 100,000, 1:10,000. Some even provide 1:50,000, 1:100. Okay, so remember, the higher the leverage, the higher you are risking your capital. This is very simple. Okay, if you go for huge leverage, know that what you are risking high of your capital, depending on any deposit that you make. Okay, yes. So it's very, very key, and it's one of the things that you have to have in mind. Yes. So aside that, also trading is one of, okay. So coming to the psychological side, okay, when it comes to trading the forex market, is very, very key. And I always ask our students that before you are joining in this industry, there are some vital questions that you have to ask yourself. Okay, these questions are very, very important. And if you are listening, I would like you to pay careful attention, okay, to this question. And this question is going to be like the one thing that is going to help you in this journey as a forex trader, or let's say a market analyst. Okay, you will have to have this question in mind. Okay, and this question is very simple, and it is why are you learning forex trading, or why do you want to become what a forex trader, or why do you want to become a market analyst? This is very, very, very key. This question looks very simple, but it needs a careful attention. Okay, and this why is what is going to help you sustain you in this journey. Okay, because if you don't have a reasonable why along the journey, when you start to face difficulties, when you start to face problems trading the market, when you start to see losses in a real account, if you don't have a good why, you end up quitting uh, this industry, quitting from this industry, which can be one of your key success in your life. Okay, so you have to have in mind that your why. So always tell our students that join us all the time that when you're about to ask yourself this question, you need to take a paper and a pen. Okay, then just give yourself time. Take in a deep breath, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, then analyze yourself very well. That's why am I learning forex trading? Okay, this is very, very key. Okay, in your success in this industry. If you don't have a good why, you will end up quitting. So I'll jump in. I'll use some examples of our students that joined us. One guy joined us from Kumasi, and I asked him, okay, so why are you in this market, or why do you want to become successful in the forex market? And he said the reason why he's in this industry is that he really want to transform his family life. Okay, yes, so he want to change the life of his family. And I told him that, wow, you have a reasonable why. Okay, and this why is going to sustain it, because this why is going to push you further for you to pursue more when it comes to this industry. And if your why doesn't make sense enough, you end up quitting. Let's say your why is you want to drive Lamborghini. If you want to drive Lamborghini is your why you want to learn forex market, then probably when you start facing, or when you start um, having difficulties trading the forex market, you end up quitting. That's where you start asking yourself, this market is not real, it's fake. Or what is going online, it's fake. Yes, it's calm. So these are the words that those that they don't have these reasonable whys. Okay, so one student that joined us, yes, and for her, when she joined, we asked that, okay, so why are you coming to this market? And she said, and the reason why she's into forex trading is that she's planning of having an NGO, or let's say an orphanage house. Yes, and she sees herself not mm, having that resources, okay, to start such things. So she's giving herself, let's say, some years, okay, and perhaps dedicate more in learning this market. When she gets to know how this market really works, I think that will help her to fulfill that ambitions. Okay, yes, because running such organization, you need resources, you need money. Okay, so she sees that the first market is going to help her to accomplish such dreams. So that's why it's very reasonable, guys. Yes, it makes sense. Okay, yeah. So I also come in with my personal reason why I joined. I joined. I joined into this industry, and it was basically for me, it's what we call the FREEDM. That's freedom. Yes. So for me, I was a kid that freedom was one of my key things that I was desiring of. Yes, freedom in every aspect of life. Yes. So freedom is what is that what that motivated me. Okay, that brought me into this industry. Okay. Yes, when I talk about freedom, it's very broad. It's very broad, but I'll try and break it in a way that each and every one of us will understand it. Okay. So I decided to go for freedom in this market in a way like freedom from the what we called financial problems. Okay, so financial freedom, yeah, financial freedom, freedom from family, yes, freedom from work as well, yes, and freedom from even what we call the social norm. Okay, yes, so freedom from all those things was one of my key because I was the type that I saw myself as a very different person, and I also saw myself that the freedom that I'm desiring is not just for myself, but it's for people. Okay, so if I'm able, okay, to grab this freedom that I'm seeking, it's very simple for me to share it out to many people. Okay, so this freedom, it's also very important, and it's one of the things that always what pushes me, okay, to learn this forex market. Okay, and for about 5 years now, it has been so good, and yes, we are still trading. Okay, so this is very simple. So if this is your first time hearing such thing, you need to keep this in mind. Your why, okay, your why is very, very important. Your why is very, very key, okay, in becoming successful in this forex market. Okay, so don't have a why that can sustain you for the long term, but a why that will push you further. Okay, so your why should be like the fuel, okay, that will fuel your vehicle. Okay, so your vehicle is going to be what will lead you to your destination, what will lead you to your dreams. Okay, so the trading is coming in as a fuel to help you or to help your vehicle to move to your dreams. So this is very simple. Okay, so yes, that's just by the way, your why is very, very important. So make sure that you sit down, write, jot some things down. Why are you learning this? It's very, very important, and you can share it along the way. When you can join our Telegram channel, we have our chat group. Okay, so you can share it with us also over there. Then we all learn together. Okay, so yeah, so back into the when we talk about the financial market. Okay, we said the financial market consists of several markets like the stock market, the forex market, the commodity market, the metals. We have the futures, we have the crypto market, and the synthetic market. Okay, so I'd like us to learn more or talk more about the synthetic market. Okay, so the synthetic market is basically, as the name what states, synthetic. Okay, so people will see that this market is not real, as the name specify that it's synthetic. Okay, yes, but there is some reality when it comes to trading this market. Okay, so this market is a market that consists of what we call the algorithm that moves the forex market. Okay, it's very, very, very important. Okay, so trading the synthetic market, we have several types of the synthetic market. Yes, we have under the synthetic market, we have what we call the VIX. Okay, we have VIX, we have the hybrid pairs. Even in the synthetic markets, they have the forex market, they have the crypto market inside. Yes, and they also have the range breaks, boom and crash. Yes, and so many others. So we'll be breaking through step by step these pairs and how to trade them. Okay, yeah. So as the name specified, derivatives. Okay, so derivatives is just it's a group of company that joined together and they came up with what this system of trading, okay, which is called the derivative market, and they've been into the system for 20 years now, and from 20 years now, the name that at first it was called binary.com. Okay, so they decided to change this name to what we call the derivative, okay, markets now. And this market is very lucrative. okay, and there is high risk also involved when you want to what become an investor trader. Okay, that's why it's very, very important for you to seek for the knowledge, and that's what will help you, okay, in order for you to become very successful in the market. Okay, so with the derivative market, how this market moves, or it moves without the systematic algorithms. Okay, so when we talk about systematic algorithm, it's very, very simple. The systematic algorithm is the market moves with what we call the X indexes and the Y indexes. So when you watch your chart, okay, you can see that this chart's work is a graph. It is a graph, okay, whereby in the graph work, you see that you have the X plane and the Y plane. Okay, yes. So that's how this market moves. It moves with what the X plane and the Y plane. So let me explain. The X plane is a horizontal one is below. Okay, and that's what we call the date and time. Hmm? People normally don't factor the date and time, but the date and time really, really is one of the key thing that moves this forex market. Okay, yes. So you have to have that in mind that when you open your chart, okay, the chart is a graph, okay, and the graph consists of what two planes. We have one, the X plane, and we have two, the Y plane. Okay, X plane, that is what we see, call it the date and time. Okay, date and time. Okay, that's your X plane. Then you have what we call the Y plane. Okay, so under the Y plane is what we see vertical, okay, on the chart, and that consists of what prices. Okay, prices. So you can see that if it is, let's say, Euro USD, you see that, or let's say BTC or any other pair, you see that there is a price. Okay, from the lower section to the upper section of that what Y plane. Okay, on your graph. Okay, so this is very, very, very important. Okay, I want to repeat this thing again. It's very, very important. People ignore this, and when this is one of the systematic way, or the mathematical mechanics that moves this market. Okay, is about the graph that you see. Okay, it consists of what we call the what two planes. Okay, you have one what we call the X plane and the Y plane. Okay, it's normal like as you open a graph work. Okay, you can see your X axis and your Y axis, and this X and Y axis, they move hand to hand. Okay, so when you carefully watch, okay, in your X axis or the X plane, okay, you see the date, okay, and time, date and time, date and time, date and time, date and time. And when you check the Y axis, you see what we call what the price. And what this date and time, okay, in this market is very, very key. Okay, so please, within this few minutes, what I come to say is very, very important, and it will help you, okay, it will help you to know more details, okay, when always you're on the chat. Okay, so this x-axis, okay, the date and time, it helps you to know what most traders are doing in the market in a particular time frame, or in a particular let's say time. Okay, so if you carefully analyze the chart very well, you realize, let's say, sometimes within a quarter, okay, let's say 3 months, you realize that most of the market is giving us, or that pair that you're watching is trending up. And if it is trending up, it's always like to give us a double button at the low. Okay, yes, within that time, you realize that this happened more consistently. So this is very key, okay, for you to know, okay. So now this is what the chart is putting within this time frame or this time zone. Okay, I mean, sometimes it goes like a year. Okay, in a pair like GBP USD, like the whole of the whole of last year, that was 2024. GBP USD was doing liquidity grabs people liquidity before it starts moving. So by the time people jumps in, the liquidity grab just takes them all off before the market starts moving. Okay, so if you're able to analyze the X plane, which is your date and time, very well, okay, this will really help you. It is very, very key. Okay, and one of the clue too is when volatility is coming, or when the market is about to move massively. Okay, check the date and time axis, which is your X axis, the horizontal axis, the one below your graph. Okay, you have to carefully watch that side. It's very, very key. your x-axis, where the date and time is, you realize that when there's going to be a massive breakout, okay, assuming maybe I don't want to talk more about the synthetic market now, but I'm focusing more on the on the currency pairs. Okay, let's say Euro USD or GBP USD, or let's say gold. Okay, when the London session is about to open, you realize that let's say within in GMT Ghana time, you realize that from let's say 6 a.m. to let's say 7 a.m. we move into a range. Okay, and immediately we move to 7 to 7:50 to 7:30, we have what liquidity graph. Yes, then after that, okay, a candle shows up, and that candle gives us a clear confirmation where this market is going. Okay, yes, that's why I'm saying that it's very very key for you to pay a careful attention on the what on the x-axis. Okay, it's very very key. Okay, so that also comes into mind with the y-axis, whereby you see a whole lot of price going on. And in order for you to know more about the prices, what we call the demand and supply. Okay, assuming when price is rising, that means price is expensive. Okay, and when price is expensive, we don't buy. It's very simple. Okay, when price is expensive, we don't buy. Assuming you go to the market, you go for shopping, and you are buying stuffs, always want the good price. Okay, and that's the same thing that the big banks they always do in the market. Okay, they always try to find good entries when if they want to buy, they make sure that the market is cheap. Okay, if they want to buy, they make sure the market is cheap, and if the market is cheap, then that means we are at a low. So we buy at a low. Okay, so we buy when market is cheap, and we sell at a high. We sell when market is expensive. Okay, so we all like to sell our product, especially when there is high demand for that product. We start to lay it off, we sell it in order for us to make profit. Okay, so always we make sure that we sell when the market is at a high. Okay, then what we buy when the market is low. Hmm? This is very very important. So always have that in mind. We buy when the market is cheap or low, and we sell when the market is high, expensive. Okay, yeah, because that's where you make money inside the market. Okay, so this is very very simple, very very simple. Okay, technologies where to know where you have to buy and where also what you have to sell. Okay, where you have to buy and where you have to sell. Okay, so okay, someone is asking us a question that please, is this going to be a regular teaching session? Yes, yes, it's going to be a regular teaching service. Okay, teaching sections. Okay, yeah, we dive in, we talk more. Okay, first of all, we will talk more about psychology also as well, and also we talk more about what chart analysis. Okay, yes, because I think when you have a right mindset, okay, when you have a what the right mindset in trading, at least when you're able to grab let's say a strategy, you can make it a success. Okay, you don't need to have more knowledge in the market, because sometimes the more the knowledge, the more confused you become. Okay, you don't have a mentor, if you don't have a mentor by your side. Okay, exactly. Unless you have a mentor that will guide you. Okay, so it's very very key having the right mindset. Okay, and showing you how to be profitable is very very key. Okay, this is very very simple. Okay, yeah. So for Ruben, I think Ruben, yeah, Ruben, we are going to have a regular teaching sections. Okay, yeah. So thank you for that. So yeah. So when it comes to with such the x and y axis, it's very key. You have to have that in mind. Okay, yes, you have to have that in mind. And also, you need to make sure that you have what we call the candlesticks formations is also key. I always tell our students, those in our training mentorship, that if you want to understand this candlestick that you see is a language, okay? Yes, it's a language. And if you want to understand the language of this market, you really have to love this candlestick. You have to love it. You have to love how to what to interpret it, because it's something that you have to always be. You have to interpret. Okay. Yes. Whereby sometimes you can have, assume maybe you can have an engulfing candle which is not at a low. Okay. Bullish engulfing candle which is not at a low of the market. This tells us that it's a fake engulfing candle. Okay, but the right engulfing candles always form when we are at a low. Okay, then we buy. I mean bullish engulfing candles. Okay, let's say hammer. Hammer is a bullish candle, right? So with the help of an hammer. So anytime you see an hammer when the market is expensive and you see hammer, we avoid it. This is very simple. So you see how the language is. So assuming when you see an hammer, okay, below the market, okay, even if it's a counter trend, okay, if the market is selling and you see this hammer, probably we are going to have another candle of that same time frame as a bullish, then before the market resume to the downside. That's why I was saying that this is an algorithm and the market respects all these algorithms. Okay, yes, and it's a mathematical what formation that is always forming. Okay, anytime the date and the price are moving, these are numbers, they are just adding up, okay, in order to form candle movement. Okay, that's why I always say that it's very, very key for you to master how the time and the X, which is the time, and the Y, which is the price, really correlates and really moves. Okay, because these are pure mathematical formulas which creates this algorithm in the market. Okay, that helps this market to be moving up, down, up, down, up, down. So assuming those trade the first market when there is a news, okay, let's say this NFP, or let's say inflation rate, unemployment rate, when such news are coming, you see sometimes there are unnecessary sparks. Okay, so when this sparks comes, we call this confusion. Okay, in the mathematical formulas or in the chart algorithm. Okay, this is what we call confusion. So after all these unnecessary sparks that comes in after the release of the news, you realize that the market stays at ease, it stays in peace. Okay, before you see it starts recorrecting itself. Okay, after recorrecting itself, then you realize that the market starts to come back to its nature, and it starts moving. Okay, either it's going for up or buy. Okay, so that's how the industry really moves. Okay, especially when we are trading with what we call the what in the currency market, which consists of the fundamentals and what the technicals and the sentimentals. Okay, so I'll be talking more about the fundamentals also as well. So when you talk about fundamentals, fundamentals are what are the data driven. Okay, they are the data driven. So these are data that are released. Okay, sometimes not in a state economy. Okay, we have also some are what we call the state economy, some are the big banks, and some are also known as the what the political what news is. Okay, political news. Okay, so political news such as maybe election coming on a by-election. Let's say political news, maybe a governor is come to give a speech. Yes, political influences like let's say there is going to be what change in governance. Okay, this really affects the currency. So assuming when even US people are going into election, you realize that people start moving their money from dollar to what we call the gold, okay, to gold market or oil or any other metals or even BTC in the crypto markets. Yeah, and that's the same thing that happens when people are also when fundamentals such as what we call what the big banks. Okay, so you have some big banks, major big banks that moves this financial market, and these big banks are they move this market massively. Okay, yes, these brokers trade with what high level. Okay, high level of what of volume. Okay, so when they are buying, the market is really buying, and when they are selling, the market what really sells. Okay, yes, so this is very, very key in knowing all these big banks. Okay, yes, and also we have what we call the state economy. Okay, so state economy like the non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, interest rate, okay, high inflation rate. Okay, yes, such also moves the market massively. Okay, so if you are trading the financial market, you especially the forex market, the currency market, you have to make sure that you know what the fundamentals are saying. Okay, and also you have to know what the technicals are saying. So the technicals are the pure chart analysis, and the fundamentals are the news. Okay, yeah. Then we have what we call the sentimental. The sentimentals is what we retail traders are doing. Okay, so we have the either maybe let's say Euro USD. When you check the market sentiment, you clearly see that okay, most buyers or most traders are buying. Okay, that's what we call the market sentiment. Okay, so it helps us to know the number or the percentage of what buyers against sellers, or the high percentage of sellers against buyers. Okay, so that's what we call the market sentiment. Okay, so trading with the currency pairs, you have to know all these three major factors. One, the technicals, two, the fundamentals, and three, the sentimental. It's very, very key. Knowing these three, I think you'll be on the right path of success in this market. And they will move hand to hand. Okay. None of this can stand on its own when you are trading currency pairs. Let's pay attention. When you are on the currency pairs, none of this can stand on its own. You have to know your technicals, you have to know your fundamentals, and you have to also know your sentimentals. It's very, very key. Okay. Yeah. So coming to the synthetic market, with the synthetic market, this is purely what we call technical. There is no any fundamentals, okay, and there's no any sentimentals, okay. In order for you to know the sentimentals, just watch the chart. The technicals will tell you, okay. You'll know that okay, this market is on a downtrend, this market is on an uptrend, okay. So with a synthetic market, all what you need is a pure price action strategy, okay. Pure price action. You don't need any fundamentals from anywhere. And when you get the knowledge of the market, you will really love the synthetic market. Okay, I'm not promoting the real market, but I trade the dairy market most often. And the reason why I trade this market most often is it works 24 hours. Okay, weekends you can still make money, and the drought is very good. And also the dairy market also they provide several market types. Okay, several market types. Okay, so if you don't like the VIX, we have hybrid pairs, we have the range pairs, we have boom and crash, we have so many other pairs inside the dairy market. Okay, we have the drifting pairs, we have the DIX pairs also, and you also can trade the currency pairs there. You can trade the commodity pairs, you can trade the stock pairs, you can trade even the futures, you can trade the metals, and even cryptocurrency. Okay, yes, but trading, what we call trading the synthetic market, means you are trading without fundamentals. Okay, this is pure technical analysis. Okay, yes. So I'll end this session for now, and please, anyone with a question, you can drop your question inside the message box, and I'll help you. Um, yeah, so I think okay, Ruben asked the question. Is it going to be yeah? So that's one I have answered. Yeah, so if there's any question that you want to ask, you can drop your question in the message box, and let's share some market insights. Okay. Yeah. So if you're new to this, you're new into the forex market, I would like to leave. I'll leave a link below for you to register with the derivative markets. Okay, if you want to, if you're not part of, or if you don't have an account with derivative, or even if you want to use Xness, also I'll put below our Xness link so that you just tap in and join. Okay, just create an account with them and you can start trading. Okay, so before our question drops, I would like to introduce anyone that if you want to join our training and mentorship, yes, it's still ongoing. And with our training and mentorship, this is a mentorship that is a lifetime mentorship. Okay, after registering, we help you, we groom you. It's a one-on-one session, and we make sure you understand the market. We make sure you really have or the knowledge. Okay, so having the knowledge itself takes a lifespan of what, a month. Okay, and after that month, that's where we go in for our mentorship. But it's a one-time payment. Okay, it covers everything. Okay, so inside the community, we provide market insights also, and we also have daily sessions that we also provide. Yes, like the same market opportunity that is coming. We also provide um, other services, which is the signal services, okay, also as well, and we also have account management services as well, okay. But our main vision is for you to know how to trade, okay, how to treat your trading as a business, okay, and yeah. So if you're interested, you can DM us, okay. You can follow us on all our social media platforms on TikTok. Yes, it's Cobbyforex underscore, and on Instagram is Cobbyforex also underscore. Yes, in on YouTube is Cobbyforex Trading Committee. Yes, and on WhatsApp too, I'll share our WhatsApp link. Okay, and also our Telegram, also share our Telegram link. Okay, so yeah, so I'll end this